Something else to keep in mind this weekend, the clocks fall back, and new research shows your health might be about to do the same. This new study by researchers at Stanford University found that a permanent switch to standard time could prevent about 300,000 cases of stroke and shrink obesity rates by more than 2.5 million people in the U.S. alone. Here to explain these findings and what they mean for Canada is CTV science and technology specialist Dan Riskin. Dan, always good to see you. I feel like we talk about this twice a year, every year. So what makes this study a bit different? Well,
what's different this time is they're using modeling to try to predict what exactly is happening in terms of people's circadian rhythms. Normally, when we talk about daylight savings, it's a lot about car accidents. It's about sort of people feeling groggy and making mistakes. But this is about what happens when you don't get enough sleep and you start making, it affects your whole metabolism and how you can process sugars. It affects your heart health, and we have lots of studies tying a bad night's sleep or several bad nights' sleep or not being able to get that normal circadian rhythm with heart problems. This sort of connects the dots and says, well, what is really happening for people's sleep when we have daylight saving? How much would it be improved if we got rid of daylight saving? And their calculations are, get this, 300,000 fewer strokes every year in the U.S. and lower obesity rates by 2.6 million people. The numbers almost seem impossible, but it's just such a huge population that a small percentage change would make the difference.
Sometimes when I don't get enough sleep, it feels like I'm being stabbed in the head. Like, can you relate?
Yeah, I felt like, so I feel a bit like that this week because there's been, these Blue Jays games have been staying up.
It just feels like a lot,
But it's an illusion. I mean,
it's all an illusion.
It's not like there's a knife going through your head. So,
obviously. What would standard time do for our health? Like, how could we benefit from changing to
Here's
that
the thing.
direction?
When we don't... Not getting enough hours of sleep is one piece of it, but it's also the circadian rhythm. It's getting to sleep at the same time in a 24-hour cycle. People that work shifts and they end up getting their sleep maybe in the day one time and in the night the other time, they have heart problems, they have all kinds of health issues that don't occur even if they're getting the right numbers, the right amount of sleep. So the shifting of the circadian rhythm is a subtle change. The calculation is that it makes a difference to stroke rates of about 0.07%. But if you multiply that by the population of the U.S. and Canada, you get big numbers.
You talked about the rates of obesity. How does that correlate?
Well, so obesity is one of the things that happens if you're not getting the proper night's sleep. It affects your metabolism. It affects your ability to break down sugars and your body's sort of knowledge of what to do with all that energy. And so when sleep is affected, by 0.76% or whatever the number is, it's going to affect large numbers of people. And so it's not that you can say, if I get enough sleep, I don't have to eat properly. Like, that's not my plan for losing 10 pounds, is that I'm just not going to change my clock back. It doesn't work that way. But when you have all these people that are right on the cusp of obesity and you make that small change, it just shifts things enough that you get 2.6 million people that are not obese that would technically be obese had you kept it.
You know what's really interesting? So if we look back at, historically, in 1974, the U.S. attempted to roll out permanent daylight saving times. It did not last. Did not last. How come?
Yeah, so this is interesting. And it speaks to the whole problem that scientists are having generally, which is scientists will say, here's the obvious solution, here's the data to show it, can we make a change? And then society doesn't make the change based on what the logic is. They say, well, what's public opinion and how am I going to get reelected? And so what happened in 1976 is there was 80% support of getting rid of daylight saving because it was going to save energy during the OPEC energy crisis. And then nobody liked it, and there were some high-profile car accidents where people died. And even if the numbers statistically weren't different, it got in the news, everybody shifted their opinion, and they said, let's go back to daylight saving. And so it was all about public opinion. And so that's one of the problems with society writ large, and this is the bigger conversation. We don't make our decisions based on what makes sense or what's logical or what's scientifically valid. We make our decisions based on how people feel when they watch politicians talk to them about things. And so that's not a very smart way to do things, and that's why we're still stuck with daylight saving.
It is Halloween. It's Jay's Game 6, obviously. Are you dressing up for Halloween at all?
I don't know. I don't have any costumes. I don't have anything to wear, so I'm probably not going to dress up. But I'll get the kids out the door, and that'll be fun.
Okay,
You? Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I just haven't decided what I'm going to be yet. Could be a Jays fan. Don't know. I don't know if I have the gear.
If you have something to wear for that.
Yeah, that's right. Dan Riskin, always good to see you. Stay in good health, because there's lots going on.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.